everyone. We are back with a react video. Sorry about that. Here we have a Tozy with teenager gets 10 years in prison for this TikTok. We've been seeing that a lot lately. Dumbass kids doing something ridiculous on social media. And they're increasingly getting into more and more trouble over it as people start to become more aware that this is a problem to begin with. I think a lot of the earlier issues with nuisance content creators was that the general public wasn't quite as aware of it. But as more and more incidents happen and people start to get more and more tired of it, we're seeing a gradual slope up in the punishments. I still don't think they're at the point where they need to be, of course. But every little bit is appreciated. Anyway, let's see what a Tozy's got for us, shall we?
This 19-year-old TikTok and Instagram creator filmed himself treating real life like Grand Theft Auto for clout, and now got sentenced to 10 years in Texas prison.
What do you mean GTA IRL? What the fuck? What, did he steal somebody's car? Did he go on a big-ass crime spree? Must have been something. 10 years is a while.
This might be one of the greatest examples of snitching on yourself for clout, and it's safe to say he found out, because today we're talking about a teenager who spent months of his life filming high-speed chases, posting them to Instagram and TikTok, taunting officers, bragging about outrunning patrol cars, and then getting caught because, shockingly, the internet is not some private diary. The police have the same social media apps as you do. Who would have thought?
That's something a lot of these dumbass kids forget. You know, especially as I said before, as awareness starts to spread, you know, the cops are going to start using these apps to see if your dumbass is posting your crimes on there. Now, that way they can build more of a case against you. You know, it's a lot easier to get a conviction if you leave video evidence every fucking where. And you know, a lot of these kids, man, they don't understand that you're not supposed to. Well, you're not supposed to do crimes at all, obviously, but you know, sharing every single thing you do on the internet has consequences when the things that you do are objectionable.
Right now, both his TikTok and Instagram are completely wiped clean, not because he suddenly discovered right and wrong, but because his lawyers saw the videos and realized, oh, Tim is his own star witness against himself. That's bad. Let's delete all of that. But unfortunately, it was too late when...
Not only is it too late, but I'm sure in most places, destruction of evidence is itself a crime. So if he tried to obscure this from police after they found out, then we get into the situation of spoliation of evidence. And that's even more shit.
And everything got scrubbed.
19-year-old Kendall County man took deputies and Bernie police on several high-speed chases. This happened over a period of months. Now he's having to answer for it.
Yeah, Ken Spies,
Yep.
Earl Sotomayor joining us live now. Earl, just how long will this man spend behind bars, and also do we know why he did all this?
Good morning, Audrey Berry. 19-year-old Timmy DeFogel is going to have to serve a 10-year prison sentence. And one thing we know about him is that he did everything for attention. We were told that he had an Instagram account where he would post the high-speed chases online while taunting law enforcement.
So today's...
Oh my god. He was 19 years old. He's going to spend the entirety of his 20s in jail. That is fucking ridiculous. I mean, I hope when he gets out, you know, when he's 29, 30, whatever, that he realizes that this is not something you should do. I mean, if he gets out and he starts doing this shit again, throw the fucking key away, right? Because at that point, you'll see that he has not learned a goddamn thing. But I feel bad right now. Because damn, that's a lot of life to essentially surrender for a few moments of fame online.
Account where he would post the high-speed chases online while taunting law enforcement.
So today's new entry of the Moron Hall of Fame is 19-year-old Timothy Vitaly Vogel.
Vitaly? His middle name is goddamn Vitaly. He's lucky he did the shit here, not in the fucking Philippines, like that other idiot.
A guy who spent months driving his black BMW with no license plate through Kendall and Bexar counties while recording every second. And
So he thought to take the license plate off for these stupid stunts, but he didn't realize that putting his stupid ass online would also be incriminating. Like, bro, they're gonna get you either way, man.
He uploaded all this footage to his social media accounts under the handle of Slow530i, a name that ironically aged pretty poorly.
I don't know. Doing this dumb shit, he seems kind of slow. Slow in the fucking head.
Because nothing in the story is slow except for the thought process behind it and potentially his car as well if you compare it to anything else that's semi-fast. But there's a whole bunch of videos showing him weaving through traffic, racing down the highway at more than 100 miles an hour, and bragging the police could not catch him. And it's just shocking because this is not a flex. The Hyundai Elantra I used to have, I could easily push 130 in it if I was dumb enough. It would take 2 business days to get up there, but still, you can do 100 plus mile an hour runs in normal cars. That's not a crazy flex.
Right.
You're just a complete moron for doing so because, surprise, surprise, you're putting everyone's lives at risk, including your own. But
there is that as well, which kind of reduces my sympathy a bit, but goddamn, 19, man. You had that's the age where people start thinking they're fucking invincible and shit, Like those late teenage years when they think nothing bad can ever happen to them. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Like that latter half of your teens, you tend to have a bit of an inflated ego about yourself. It's usually in your 20s that, that you start to realize you don't really know shit, right? And that's going to hit for this guy a lot harder since he's spending his entire fucking 20s in jail.
But also, you can easily get jail. If you're on a track, have fun. If you're on a public road, you have to share the road, unfortunately.
Yep.
That's just life. And I think we would all prefer if our lives weren't cut short by some moron in a BMW 530i thinking he's f***ing cool. But to make things worse, he kept going to social media to brag about how the cops could never catch him. Like, with lines like, he tried but failed, and obviously he hid behind this is all AI fake footage, which I guess he placed there for some sort of deniability.
Yeah, kind of hard to do that when the guy behind you is an actual cop. And also, AI footage isn't quite that good. There's always some weird inconsistency about it.
But honestly, what kind of makes this funnier is this isn't the first time we've covered a genius who thinks captions like that actually help them. Because a few months ago, I covered a YouTuber by the name of Bryce Bennett who hit 192 miles an hour on public highways and tried to avoid trouble by saying, oh, this was all in Mexico. But unfortunately, Bryce was blasting past Hartford roadsides at 190 like the cops just can't read.
Yo!
And now we have Fogel, who basically did the same thing, but instead of filmed in Mexico, he went with the 2024/2025 upgrade, claiming the videos were AI fake footage, which, again, isn't even original, because that's exactly what the whole Squeeze Benz crew did under their videos, and Squeeze, he ended up getting arrested, and he spent, close to a year in jail. But also, after watching this case, I'm starting to realize that idiots like this are just going to use AI fake footage and expect the judge to believe it.
Yeah, I think we're at the point now where more and more people are seeing more and more AI stuff, and they're starting to notice really small things that are wrong with it. I mean, you'll always have the sort of boomer that will fall for everything, the Facebook type. But a lot of people are starting to kind of wise up on this whole generative AI thing. AI cannot create, it can only imitate. And it can only imitate rather badly at that.
And we're not even in the full-on AI dystopia yet, and people are already practicing their "it wasn't me, it was the algorithm" speeches. So this will get interesting pretty quickly. But in this case,
Well, to the point, he's not wrong. I mean, it will get better. I'm not sure if it'll ever get to the point where it's fooling all the people all the time. You know what I'm saying? But when you have a cop behind you, yeah, it's probably not helping.
the first chase happened on April 30th. A Bourne police officer by the name of Eric De La Rosa was sitting in his patrol car on an I-10 frontage road when the same BMW with no plates pulled up behind him. When the officer turned to investigate, Fogel flipped him off, hit the gas, and launched a chase that stretched into the next county before officers called it off. But then, hours later on social media, the video magically appeared on Instagram with a caption basically saying, "Nice try, cop." And then 2 weeks later, police were conducting a traffic stop standing on the shoulder, talking to a driver they pulled over. And then suddenly the same BMW blasted past them at 142 miles an hour. Not once, but twice. He then posted those videos as well with the caption, "Little flyby for the cops." And then of course, one camera pointed at the dashboard. But obviously he's fine because he wrote AI fake footage in the comments below. Or well, unfortunately for him, you know, police dash cams, timestamps, phone records, and officers all exist as well. But late May, it got even worse because a Kendall County deputy was working at a crash scene when Fogel came flying by at highway closing speed. Another officer tried to stop him and hit a top speed of 118 miles an hour before the pursuit had to stop. And then here's the part where a lot of people might not realize, because the reason Fogel kept getting away wasn't because he was some kind of like racing prodigy or had an extremely fast car, because he had a 530i. Police actually had to stop the high-speed pursuits once they hit certain speeds. When a chase gets into the triple digits, especially near traffic or neighborhoods.
Yeah, a lot of police departments will be a lot more careful if it's you know, if it's heavy traffic, if it's like a school zone or a place where kids play, because nobody wants to see a police chase end with some kid getting splattered all over somebody's windshield. You know, in most cases, you'll be able to get the guy later, you know? So it's not worth the risk.
It becomes a liability. So if a cop keeps pushing 130 miles an hour after the suspect, they're not just chasing one reckless driver, they're essentially just risking innocent people on the road.
Yep.
Because let's be real, this isn't Arkansas or Georgia where they'll just go guns blazing no matter what. I think Mississippi also does that. Don't try to outrun anyone in Georgia, Arkansas, or Mississippi, because you will find out. So this guy also found out, but just not in the most brutal way. If you do it in one of the 3 states I mentioned, you probably won't walk away.
Well, also, a lot of it is, you know, heavily populated areas. Like if you're smart and you don't do this in the middle of fucking nowhere, where there's nothing to risk, the cop's probably gonna pull in for you. I mean, he's lucky he didn't go into some really middle of nowhere spot in Texas, you know, because Texas has a lot of those.
Because let's be real, those 3 states will chase you down like it's some scene from the Dukes of Hazzard. But I digress. So each time he crossed into Bexar County or blew past 120, officers had to call it off for safety. He wasn't some mastermind, the cops were just following procedure. So then he uploaded the next entry to, I guess, the Moron Hall of Fame. And of course, he captioned it, "Sheriffs don't do nothing again." And then he followed that with a sequel titled Part 2 of Outrunning the Sheriff. Awesome, buddy. I get that we all do some incredibly stupid stuff before that prefrontal cortex loads in.
Yep.
But you would prefer not to get locked up until that thing is fully loaded in, before you get it, right? Freedom is pretty nice. But on June...
Agreed. I like freedom. I like being able to do whatever the fuck I feel like, you know. Stream, walk, go to the gym, play some video games, watch some porn, whatever. I like being able to do stuff on my own schedule and not being in a fucking 8x10. You know, I'm into that.
Till that thing is fully loaded in, before you get it, right? Freedom is pretty nice.
Yep.
But on June 22nd, Officer De La Rosa spotted the same BMW again. Still no plates, driving like the world was his personal racetrack, and then suddenly the officer turned his lights on and Fogel took off down Main Street at more than 100 miles an hour. He weaved through traffic, jumped into an oncoming lane, and nearly crashed into a police cruiser.
Jesus.
Officers then tried to spike strip him, but then that unfortunately failed and he got away. And of course, a whole paragraph started showing up on social media of him bragging about how slow the police are. In quote, he wrote, 20 or more cops still fail, and how they suck at spiking. That
Oh my
showed
God.
up on his social media. So when you keep pushing your
Oh my. Now, if you're getting away with shit, don't brag, and especially don't taunt the cops, because they're gonna start taking it personally. You don't want the cops thinking, "Oh yeah, this guy's fucking with us now. We've got to do something."
your luck like that time and time again, the only place that's gonna land you is either in prison or not with us on planet Earth anymore.
And honestly, I'm glad it's just prison. Sad as it is, that he's gonna spend the entirety of his 20s there. But like, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, fucking going that fast in oncoming? Yeah, that ain't no joke.
And honestly, if this ended here, he might have actually still been free. But police spotted him on the 4th of July, parked outside of a convenience store. Officers then walked up, asked questions, and noticed the car matched everything they saw online.
Right.
The same interior, the same lighting, the same camera mounts, and even the novelty license plate that was titled Will Run.
Why not just tattoo the word criminal on your fucking forehead while you're at it?
Imagine getting pulled over with a license plate that literally confesses. Come on. Like, honestly, it's kind of a funny plate, but like, bro, what are you doing here? So this leads to him being detained, and then the police seized the footage from his dash cam. And once they got that footage, it was essentially game over because digital forensics confirmed everything. His Instagram account was registered to his phone number, his date of birth, and his email account, and also it was being accessed from his home Wi-Fi during the exact times the videos were being uploaded.
Oh Lord, this is the thing about all these social media accounts, especially like Facebook-owned ones, because Mark Zuckerberg wants as much of your real information as possible, right? So he's gonna insist that you use real phone numbers, real names, real addresses, and then people post this stupid shit on the gram. Yeah, which you deserve, man. Quite frankly.
They even had surveillance of him driving home after one of the pursuits, wearing the same clothes seen in the dash cam recordings. I mean, I just know the county police felt very good releasing this statement. Because let's be real, they finally caught some dude who was LARPing as a Need for Speed character, antagonizing them for months. And as I mentioned earlier, I mean, the fact that he was bold enough to do all of this in a 530i as well, that is wild, as the police charges are definitely faster than it. Because normally, you see people running away on like sports bikes because, you know, they're basically uncatchable unless the police decide, hey, we're going to end this biker's life to stop him. That's the only way they really stop those guys, or if they willingly surrender or run out of gas. So normally, those are the people you see running away from cops.
Yeah, usually. Not always, though. You see a lot of people in some really rickety-ass cars and trucks and shit. I mean, there's a reason that old show World's Wildest Police Chases had so many fucking so many episodes back in the day. I don't know if y'all remember that. That's a blast in the past. That's a blast from the past, man. I'm sure a lot of people that's around my age are having flashbacks of that show. But yeah, it was a lot of chases where people were driving shit that was completely unsuited to the task at hand.
But pushing your luck in a 4-cylinder dad sedan, those things are literally designed to bring accountants to work and home again, not LARP as Paul Walker in. But wait, it's not over yet, because here is when his lawyer finally enters like a firefighter arriving at a building that is already burned to the ground, because Fogel suddenly wiped all the videos, deleted all the posts, and tried to erase his entire digital footprint. Unfortunately, though, the investigators had already downloaded everything, so...
And even if they hadn't, it would not have taken very much effort to issue a subpoena. because these companies never really delete anything, right? I think they're obligated to keep that shit for a while, you know, for purposes like this, you know, in case the cops need it. So, you know, this was never gonna work.
So he ended up pleading guilty to felony evading arrest and reckless driving. I saw a good amount of headlines actually pop up saying he was sentenced to 10 years. He was, that's true. The judge sentenced him to 10 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice,
Right.
hence the title of this video. So on paper, he got 10 years in prison. But, there's a but, because normally these things happen. The court then suspended the actual prison time and gave him 6 years of probation instead.
We're still at the tail end. We're at the tail end, but we're still at that kid gloves type of deal. I mean, cops have to be so fucking frustrated. They go through hell to catch a guy, and some softy ass judge suspends their sentence and gives them a little spank on the fucking butt and a slap on the wrist and says, "Don't do it again." Fucking hell.
Which means one violation, like one speeding ticket or one failed drug test, one moment where he forgets that he's driving into oncoming traffic, hopefully he doesn't do that again, he will then have to serve the full 10 years behind bars again. So essentially, it's basically a probated sentence as of right now, like a listen real carefully or else kind of sentence. And during these 6 years, he's going to have to wear a GPS ankle monitor that tracks his speed and location,
Right.
take a defensive driving course, do a community service, pass a random drug and alcohol test, hand his phone over to probation anytime they ask, and also allow them to access his social media accounts. So essentially, he just got super grounded, except by the judge instead of his parents. And he also has to write a formal apology letter to every officer he endangered, and I guess the real chef's kiss is write a personal apology letter to his parents and pay them back for every single dollar they spent on his legal fees.
Okay. I gotta take that. Okay, this judge is actually kind of funny. Okay. I'm starting to see the issue. I'm starting to see the point. The guy's got to wear a GPS for 6 goddamn years. He's got to write a sorry to mommy and daddy. Okay. I'm not as mad. This isn't a soft judge. He's just being creative with the punishment. All right. I get you.
Which is something I haven't heard of ever before, but hey, apparently that exists as well. Legally requiring someone to apologize to their mom is definitely new. So yeah, Tim wanted clout, but instead he got a government-issued ankle bracelet. And also a 10-year prison sentence, but then I guess the judge decided to be lenient and gave him something else after that instead. But other than that, I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Peace.
You know, this dumbass isn't going to be able to go 6 years without doing something stupid, right? I think the judge realizes that, right? Because you know what's going to happen. You know damn well what's going to happen. It's going to be 5 years, fucking 11 months, and 30 days. Like, going to be on the last fucking day of his probation. And dumb son of a bitch is going to piss off the wrong cop, and he's going to end up having to serve that full 10 years. And I, for one, I'm going to laugh so hard. Dude, you got a whole new lease on life, bro. You better not fuck it. Anyway. Oh, man, that was funny. All right, guys. I hope you had a good time. I know I did. Be sure to let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, God bless you.